if you're trying to grow or scale your e-commerce business, or maybe you're just starting an e-commerce business for the first time, then deciding between having your own store, such as a Shopify store, or deciding to sell on a marketplace such as Takealot or Amazon can be a pretty big decision. It took me about a year and a half to make that decision just because I was caught up with too much information. But this video is here for you. This is going to be a detailed video, not just a short little AI ChatGPT written video. This is going to be a real video walking you through the actual differences between the processes in which one may be best for you. Probably both, but not always. Doing both is definitely not for everyone. At the end of the video, I'm sure that you'll be confident in making a decision on which one is best for you. So let's get into the main differences structure-wise first and process-wise. Before we do get in, this may be a time for you, if you're anything like me, to take a break, make yourself a nice cup of coffee. Currently drinking this single origin Plato sachet, pretty decent Burundi. Let me know in the comments if you're also a specialty coffee drinker or if you just like that instant stuff. So first up, getting in, let's go over Shopify. So Shopify is pretty simple to process. I'm sure most of you would know, but essentially you would get your goods from a manufacturer. Now this manufacturer could be you that is busy hand making goods. It could obviously be a manufacturer in China. It could be a third-party supplier, etc. But essentially, you've got your house or warehouse. You may be doing all of this from your house, but in this case, we'll just call it a warehouse as well. Or maybe you have an actual 3PL warehouse. But essentially, from over here, you would order your stock from the manufacturer, or you would make it yourself, order from yourself. It would be delivered to you. Then you've got the customer journey, and a customer would place an order on your online store. The warehouse would receive the order details, and you would ship this to customer. Pretty straightforward, nothing too fancy. Obviously, we oversimplifying some elements, but that's essentially having your own online store. Definitely seems more attractive, as you can see, a lot less lines compared to this side. But moving over to a marketplace like Takealot or Amazon, all of them would operate more or less the same. You got a bit more of logistics going on over here. So over here, you've got your house and your warehouse, and same thing, you order stock from your manufacturer, it gets delivered to you. The difference here is, again, replace Takealot with Amazon or any other marketplace like Macro. You have to send your stock in bulk, usually, sometimes one by one, but that can be very expensive. And then a customer places an order on Takealot's website. You go through and the order details are received by Takealot DC or Amazon DC, again, depending who is fulfilling the order. In Takealot's case, the DCs are always going to be the fulfillment centers for now. Then this item gets collected by couriers that Takealot organizes, or at a pickup point, right? So if you're ordering online as a Takealot customer, you can obviously go pick up at a pickup point. So these items are collected and taken over there. From there, they then get shipped to the customer. If it was a courier, it goes to their house, or as you can see over here, it gets picked up by the customer at the pickup point. So a little bit more logistics. You're not handling your shipment, but there's quite a bit more shipment going on over here. You have to get your stock to Takealot first, which means you're also packaging very differently. So we'll go over in more detail, don't worry, but just for now that you can get sort of overall user flow or customer journey, as well as for yourself. Now, the biggest differences going through them, as you can see, is Shopify equals more profit, right? Percentage, but less people to sell to. Again, these are blanket statements, but you'll see in a second. Takealot is less profit percentage in general, but more people to sell to. And essentially the biggest difference here to think about Shopify, you don't have an audience, right? Like a lot of us, myself included, spend months designing a perfect Shopify store, e-commerce, WooCommerce store. You design it, you got all the pictures, you got a photographer in, it looks amazing. You show your mom and dad and they say they're proud of you. Sometimes, jokes. But you've got the profit, right? You've done all your calculations, you just need to send it, especially if it's slightly higher ticket options. But there's no one there, crickets. You wait and weeks go by and you don't make a sale because we think that people are just going to know that our store exists and trust our store. And unfortunately, does not work that way. But that doesn't mean it's a bad thing. We'll get to a lot of the pros in a second. Takealot, on the other hand, less profit margin, right? Takealot has a lot of fees. So if we go back up over here, you can see this costs money, all these extra lines, right? You send stuff here, they have to pay people to receive your stock and count it and lose it and then put it on the right shelves. They need to send it and pay for their couriers, which you technically pay for, and ship it to customers and pay the staff that are there at the pickup points. So it makes sense that the fees are high, right? People complain a lot, oh, Takealot's expensive. while they're doing a lot for you that you don't have to do. But it does suck. Okay, so we've got the Takealot, less profit, but more people to sell to. And what I mean by this over here, it's more people to sell to because Takealot is paying for the advertising, right? They've got a trustworthy marketplace that it's South Africa's most trusted marketplace. And obviously in the US, that would be a marketplace like Amazon. But there is pre-built trust. People know that they can return the items, and people know that they can people know that they can return it, and they obviously know that they can trust it because they've probably ordered before. They have plenty of friends, family, and colleagues that have ordered from the marketplaces. So that's the big difference when it comes to the financial element. Again, greens and pros. This was supposed to be green over here, but that's okay. Shopify store versus Takealot store. Here's some more big differences. So these were all hand drawn, so excuse the little pictures. But essentially on top, we got packaging and shipping per order. So for a Shopify store, you are packing and shipping every single unit that is going out. So in the example of the Plato coffees, maybe this came in a box of 12. I would need to package this, and I could sort of design this and ship it to you as the customer who ordered from my site. And I can make that a really pretty unboxing experience, right? But I'm just packaging this your one order. However, with Takealot, this is packing and shipping in bulk. Again, if I was selling these in boxes of 12, I would now have to have several boxes of 12, preferably to keep my shipping costs low, package all of these, and then put all of these boxes into one bigger box or 2 or 3 bigger boxes, and then ship that to Takealot because they need to have stock on hand. You can do one-time things, which we'll get to in a second. I have covered it in other videos, which is called lead time orders. It's just a little bit expensive, especially when starting out. So that's one big difference. Not just in terms of admin, but also in terms of design and what your packages look like. Able to remarket and nurture. Dog is busy shaking in the background. So here's a little maneki. You're able to remarket and nurture your customers on Shopify, where on Takealot, you have no customer information. Back in the day, a year and a bit ago, you actually could sometimes get customer information sneaky on the side. But that was basically if you had a return, and then you had to create an invoice, and then you would get their details and their email address that you have to put on. But now Takealot takes care of that. So there's no customer information for you to market to, which is fine. Takealot has a big audience, so you definitely sell a lot of units with a lot less work. But a huge benefit, especially once you start growing and learning the skill, you're able to remarket and nurture leads on a Shopify or WooCommerce side, where you can put them in a little drip campaign. You can offer them, again, if I ordered this from the website, then you may well offer me the new flavor when it launches in a month at a discount because I ordered this last month. So you can do very custom offers like that, especially in the beginning. People say, oh, but that's not scalable. That's fine. If you don't have that many sales, you don't need to worry about that yet. When you get a whole bunch of sales, you can then start worrying about what is scalable. But in the beginning, you want that traction, that word of mouth. So that's one big benefit. Another benefit over here, let me just zoom out a little bit. You've got lower platform fees, but higher marketing fees if you've got your own Shopify site. Again, we just sort of covered that because you don't have people that are just coming to your site every day like Takealot or Amazon or Macro. Then you obviously need to pay for those eyeballs. So you need to run Facebook ads or Meta ads, or you need to create YouTube content around the product, or TikTok, organic free or organic content. But in some way or another, you need to be doing the marketing. Where on Takealot side, you've got higher platform fees. We went over this. There's a lot more people and hands involved, and they need to make their money. But you've got lower marketing fees. Now, I don't know if let me just do this so you can see it. You got lower marketing fees. And then with the little like exercise dumbbell thing, basically just effort, right? What is the difference in effort? Well, over here, Shopify is more like sprinting, right? So if you think about a sprint, obviously short bursts, high intensity effort. Reason is, again, you're packaging per order. So each order you're busy doing, obviously you'd want to package a few orders back to back, but it's still one by one process. Very quick. As orders come in, you want to get that order out as quick as possible in the beginning. You don't want to be waiting another 2-3 days before you ship it out, because people are used to shopping on places like Takealot where they could get it the same day. So you want to be really quick with everything as it comes in. Where with Takealot, it's more like a marathon, right? With this, slow, steady. So you're basically doing replenishments once every 2 weeks. You've got sales dripping in, and then you're monitoring all of your levels with the software, as well, just to help you out, or manually watching your stock at the different DCs, looking at orders, reviews, etc. So a lot more sort of stable and slow, because you're not handling the individual packaging just once every week or once every 2 weeks or so when you need to do a bulk replenishment. And then here's a little bed. You can see that. And with Shopify, sales while sleeping, right? And you wake up to fulfill orders. So both of them are like, I'll never forget the first time for each. Shopify is a bit more rewarding because you get that little ching, like cash noise. If you sell on Shopify, please let me know in the comments that you know what I'm talking about. I'm not just being crazy. But essentially there you make sales while you sleep. Like you wake up and the first time you hear that little ching, or you wake up to it and you see it, it's really amazing. Like, you technically did the work, right? But it feels like it was a passive sale because you were sleeping when it happened, or you were out at coffee with someone, or you were having coffee with someone. But you have to wake up and then you got to fulfill those orders real quick, right? Where with Takealot, you have sales while you sleep. Yay. Obviously not passive. It just feels passive. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. But I remember that like every 2 weeks or so, it's a lot of work to actually get orders out, to make sure you're restocking, that you have the right stock levels, to send everything to Takealot. But then for like a week or so, sometimes 2 weeks, depending how much stock you send, you're not really doing too much. Obviously, you're ordering other stock and you're busy packaging and doing other things slowly in the background, but you're not like shipping out to customers. And then you're watching sales come in. You have to log in and go to your sales. You don't get the little cha-ching, but it's still pretty cool to know that over a weekend you're busy making sales and you're just like chilling with family at a braai, watching rugby, etc. And then in a week or so, you got a lot of work. We'll go over some more things. So I really want to give you some detail over here and some value. So we'll go over pricing, because these things matter, right? You see these videos and then they don't really go into these details. So I want to cover that for you. Obviously, you can go and click through all of these links. The pricings do change. But if we go over Shopify pricing first, and we'll just go to one of their free trials. So this is one of their free trials at the moment. Try 3 days free, then US $1 per month for 3 months. And then it goes up. What's very nice about this was some nice, this incentivized me a lot, because I sort of treated this as like, cool, 3 months, that's 90 days, more or less. That's a pretty long time. So I'm going to use these 90 days. It's going to cost me $3 at most, right? So that's about 17, 18 rand a dollar. So per month, $20. That's less than this plate of coffee cost me. Give me 1 second. And the Burundi's good. And so that was really motivating. It felt like a lot lower risk, right? Again, it gave me time to sort of set up my site, design it, go through that process at a lot lower risk. I'm not burning a bunch of money getting it set up, and that felt quite nice. I should have focused a lot more on how I was going to market the Shopify site when it went live, so that I wasn't surprised by the crickets. That's why I get to share that now, the second time around. So you can start up with free trials like this. Works out pretty cheap for the first few months. So there you go, the pricing. Otherwise, I just wanted to show you the normal plan so you're not sort of deceived into something. Let me just scroll down over here. So over here, you got the basic. We used the basic for a long time. But see, they always get you with this over here. Pay yearly, save 25%. Obviously, I presume you're going to be paying monthly. Again, if you pay yearly, you save a lot. But this is 25 US dollars per month. 2% third-party payment providers. So not bad. And then, you got some inventory locations. I presume if you're watching this, you don't have more than 10 inventory locations where you hold your stock. 24/7 chat support, in-person selling by phone or POS, which is point of sales. Then you've got the Grow package. Also over here, a little bit more. Well, you basically have a 2% discount over here in your third-party payment providers. That's pretty nice. Not much else is different over here. And then you got Advanced and Plus. I never had to use those. So that's what the pricing will look like after a little bit. Most common is about 430 Rand to 1,200 Rand per month. If you just take the average between those two plans, paying monthly. 430 Rand, really not that bad. Again, you just want to plan this out either way. Then moving on, we've got, on average, I'd say if you're starting out and you're going with a payment gateway, so essentially if you've got your own online Shopify store and you're in South Africa, or parts of the world where Shopify itself doesn't support or doesn't give you its payment gateway, then you got to make use of something like Paygate or Yoko, and they will take on average 1 to 3.5% of your transactions, depending on how many sales you make, how much money goes through your store. Then they'll start reducing the percentage. So it's just good to keep that percentage in mind. It seems like a little bit 2%, but over a month of sales, you do need to account for that transaction percentage fee. So that's just something to bear in mind when working on the cost, what works best for you between Shopify and Takealot. Next up is the shipping fees. They're completely up to you. So again, with Takealot, they sort of have their own providers, and you need to choose how you get it to Takealot. But with Shopify, you also need to ship it to your customer directly. So they could pick up in person if they live in the area and you sell more locally. You could, ship through PEP shipping, which I know some people do that. I can't remember the name of their shipping services. Or you can obviously go, I really like the Courier Guy. Obviously not sponsored in any way, but I enjoyed them because they've got some really cool plugins with Shopify. So when I see my order, I just had to push create shipment, I get a Weibo number, print the sticker, done. I pay more to have stuff work smoothly and just run well than to have to go find a locker and find the right size in a box and pack it and ship it. I just want it to be really smooth and efficient. So, but if you're just starting out, maybe you have extra time and you wanting to put in that effort, you obviously could do so. And then templates and or integrations, these are going to start costing you a bit more. So it's something that's overlooked in the beginning. But in the beginning, the way your Shopify store looks matters a lot less than how you're going to drive traffic to it. Once you drive traffic to it, then you can start working on conversion as well. So you want to be doing things like abandoned cart marketing, which is essentially, I don't know if you've ever shopped and you push save, send to cart, and then a day or two later, you get an email notification. Hey, Romero, you still have this coffee sitting in your cart. Please check out, or here's a code, check out with 20% discount or 50% discount. So things like that don't come standard. You do need to pay extra through third-party softwares and applications. Then web forms, when you log in and then it pops up, please enter your name and email and get 50% off, or subscribe to our newsletter. There are some free options, but the really good ones are worth paying for. Again, you can play around with that. It's just something to keep in mind. And then upsells, etc. really work well. So upsells and even bundles. So if you want to sell bundles where you can buy one of these for 25 Rand, or you can buy 12 of them for 20% less than 12 of those, then you would want some sort of software or upsell option as well, which are really cool. You can either upsell, again, sell bundles, but you do pay extra for those. It just helps with conversion and helps get your average cart size higher. So if on average someone comes to your site, they're only spending 25 Rand, you want to find ways to increase that. Okay, they go to checkout and then I say, hey, get one more for only 10 Rand. So now I know, oh, well, that's a no-brainer. Or get 12 and only pay for 6 of them. Something like that. That would obviously be bundling and discounting. Otherwise, I could show, hey, I see that you've chosen the Burundi flavor. Pop up, here's our 2 most common flavors, or here's a mix pack of 5. And now that costs 5 times more because there's 5 of them. But my average basket size and average order size has now gone up significantly percent-wise, especially if you start extrapolating that and timing that over 50 or 100 customers a month starting out. So you don't need it to get started, not at all, but it is something to just keep in the back of your mind when thinking about pricing. Then moving forward with Takealot pricing. So all pricing is on Takealot, pretty easy to find. You can just go over here, takealot.com/sell, and then apply to sell or see pricing. See, this is a pop-up. This is exactly what I was meaning. Get 3% payback every time you shop. Okay, so you can just click on see pricing, it will take you down. Now their pricing, they have 3 different types of pricing. So yes, it is expensive, but if you factor it in and you don't sell generic nonsense, for lack of better words, then it's still worth it. If you're planning to sell stuff that you can find on Temu easily and that's already on Takealot and is cheap, it's not worth it. There's just no money left afterwards, unless you have capital to do it in hundreds of thousands of units, which again, if you're watching this video, maybe not. So going first into success fees. I'm not going to go through everything yet. It's quite a lengthy table, but again, takealot.com/sell. And if you go through this, you'll be able to see sort of what products you're selling on based on category. So first there's the standard one, and then you obviously get large, oversized, bulky. It tells you your size in cubic centimeters. Then you've got your weight. So you sort of pick a size, and then you're going to pick a weight as well. And then down here, you've got some categories within the 3 standards. Then light, heavy, heavy plus, very heavy. So again, these are your fees that are going to go off. This is a fixed fee. It's a fulfillment fee. So this is, think of it as a delivery fee. How much is Takealot going to charge you to deliver your item to your customer? I'll go back to the sheet in a second. There are obviously your own shipping fees to Takealot, but this is just how much are they going to charge you to get it from Takealot DC to the paying customer from Takealot from a sale. So you can go through this in general, which I've written down over here. Where's this? Fulfillment fee. In general, 20 Rand to 360 per item. That's like the full range, but on average, 55 Rand from my personal experience. So most of the stuff that I sold fitted in some sort of one of the standards. And then what size would that have been? I think it's like medium. Okay, light to heavy. So over here, this sort of 30 to 55 range, that was most of the things that I sold. Obviously got some friends and some people that we work with to help them with their stores, and they pay a little bit more. But on average, you can expect per item to be losing at least 55 Rand. Again, that's a fixed cost, so that's at least pretty easy to calculate. Then we've got monthly fees. Now, on average, again, you can go over here. So we'll just close this one up. We've got, where was this? Okay, it's fine. I wrote it down. So 400 Rand per seller account per month. So essentially similar to Shopify up over here, where you're paying about 430 Rand a month. For Takealot, you're paying 400 Rand a month. And that's just to have your products potentially on Takealot, right? I mean, obviously you could not have stock. You could be out of stock. You're still going to be paying 400 Rand a month, same as the Shopify store. In the grand scheme of things, that alone is actually really affordable compared to, again, something like Shopify. Now, you could have your free e-commerce store like with WooCommerce. Potentially, again, the plugins start catching you with money. But essentially, it's 400 Rand and you're getting all the advertising, but you will be paying a few more fees here. So next one is we've covered fulfillment fees. Now there's a success fee. So fulfillment fixed, right? It's never going to change for that particular product. If it's 55 Rand, it's 55 Rand per item. So if you sell something for 200 Rand and the fee is 50, have 150 Rand left over. Now, if we go over here and we look at the success fees, the success fees are purely based on your product categories. And then there's a range, 6 to 9%, 10 to 18%. So go find your categories that you plan on selling in, and then you can just look at the associated success fee. And if you look over here, very important, this is on VAT inclusive products, selling price excluding shipping. So this is off of your selling price in total. So if it's retailing and your customer sees it for 200 Rand, then this percent is coming off of that 200 Rand, not off of your cost or anything else. So, or after the fulfillment fee, it's in total off the retail price. That's important to know because this is obviously some of these can be pretty high, 18% in the clothing and footwear. That's quite rough. So just bear that in mind as well. Obviously, when you're looking through these, if you don't have items already, try looking categories that are maybe lower, or if the percentage is high, you want that ticket price to be even higher to sort of counterbalance it. Next up is so we got success fees. Again, that's just Takealot helped you make that sale, so they're going to take a percent off of your profits or off of your sales price. Then we've got your shipment fee. Now this is up to you. So we've got monthly fee, success fee, and fulfillment fee. Shipment fee is completely up to you. This is when you have to send your bulk. So again, I told you if I'm selling several boxes, or I'm selling one box at a time, but I'm sending several to Takealot's DC, then I need to pay for those to get to the DC, to Cape Town, to Joburg, and to Durban. Now I can deliver it myself, for example, the one in Cape Town, and I know some of you live close to the Joburg DC branch. You can go take it there. It's just a bit of a lust because you have to book an exact 30-minute time slot, go in that time, make sure you got your paperwork and deliver it. I don't want to do that. I'd rather send it off with my other shipments going out and then ship it through something like the courier guy. The courier guy is really great because you do get discounts. So you do have to just type in the address exactly the same. You can always just email the courier guy to find out more about that. But essentially, if on the Courier Guy system, so I just put this link here for you as well. So if I open up this, you can just sign up over here on this page with them. You can set up an account, which just makes it easier. You log in, you say ship now, add a shipment, and then you save Takealot DC's addresses. They'll pop you an email like what exactly it needs to say. It's very specific. And when you do that, you'll see your price goes green and you get a discount, which is quite nice. I think it's around 30% or so. Don't hold me accountable to that, but it's a really nice option. It definitely saves on your shipments. So then when I'm sending several boxes to the DC, it's a lot more affordable. So again, let me just open this because I'm not sure. There you go. So this is their Courier Guy, Business Courier Services. But again, you can just go on their website. There's many places that's trying to get you to sign up. Sign up, email name, surname, company trading name, etc. Or you can email them and ask what options they have. Okay. So now this is just a little call out. If you guys are curious, I'll put the link below as well. But I do help quite a lot of you who watch this channel and several other businesses scale their online store just faster without wasting time or money, right? That's the whole point. It's not that this is a magic get rich quick scheme. This is why I'm giving you all the pricing. It's a lot easier to watch something like this and chat to someone like myself or other people in the industry and get the answers much quicker than just guessing. I spend so much money and time obviously on trial and error. And then even if you're just getting started or only seeing early growth right now, we do have a community now called Profitly. So I'll just open this up real quick. But essentially you can see some of the reviews from the people inside and then inside everything that you get here. So again, because I've partnered with the founders of some softwares that help you with your e-commerce business, they're offering really good discounts inside there. We have monthly calls, basically coffee time where you can make yourself a coffee. We have a chat about business. And then I have a lot of DMs. So again, here's another one that just came through. But a lot of people finding out what's next. I'm going through the images with them, helping them. You can see our calendar over here when we start booking some calls. So here was some things on doubling the sales. Got the classroom, the members, and then the actual community, which I'll go to. And then obviously the people commenting inside there. And then Imogen as well, co-founder of Takealytics, which is really cool. So if you are keen, the link is down in the description. Feel free to click it and join the community. Be lucky to see inside. Okay, next up, marketing and sales. So we've covered pricing. I know this is quite lengthy and detailed. Obviously, again, take your time, pause, rewind parts of the video, speed me up, slow me down as you need. But heading into marketing and sales, all of this, very important. So marketing and sales, biggest differences. Shopify, you pay for eyeballs, but you own them. So that's a nice little twist, right? Again, I mentioned this earlier. You need to pay to get people to come to your site. You may start trickling in some organic growth with some SEO down the line, but that takes pretty long unless you are really good at it or know some people really good at it, and then it's expensive in any case. So either way, you pay to get eyeballs to your site, but you own them in the sense that you have their contact details. You can market to them with their permission. You can email them, you can offer them special offers, check in with them, gather reviews, etc., which is really cool. Can remarket and customize offers. So we used to do that where with some of the coffee equipment, we'd reach out to them, hey, you bought this tool, but it kind of means you need this tool, so here's a discount for you. And we'll ship it with some free barista cloths and sort of make our own little combos uniquely for each order in the beginning. And I'll cover some tricks that you can do with that in a second. But that was really helpful in the beginning when you have the time and capacity to do so. All right, still on Shopify, you've got your traffic sources. So again, two main ones in general. You've got organic. This would be content, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp groups, whatever you're doing, and just content in general. And so organically, people are watching your things, and then they're going onto the website, clicking your call to actions. SEO, obviously building up maybe a few websites, post about you and redirect people to your website. And then you've got paid traffic sources. Again, this would be ads. Now it could just be paying for your organic content to become ads, which is quite nice. So this little content hack over here, something that I didn't invent. It's very common, but essentially you make a whole bunch of shorts or TikTok videos or Instagram videos, maybe even longer YouTube videos. And the ones that do really well, that stand out, which is called outliers, where you see on average you usually get 20 likes, and now this one all of a sudden you've got 500 likes, and you usually get 100 views, and now you've got 3,000 views. Well, that would be an outlier video. And with those, that obviously means that it did well. The algorithm picked it up, and the algorithm is just people on the other side of the screen. So people enjoyed it. And then you can just tweak the intro slightly, and then you can run that as a paid ad on Meta. And those tend to do really well because they've been pre-tested to some degree. So again, that's just a little hack that I like to use with paid versus organic. These, always just remember to be messaging first, right? So don't just name the actual the things that are good about your product itself, because people don't want to hear that. Everyone says, I have the best coffee, it tastes the best, it's the strongest, it's the weakest, gives you the most energy, it gives you the least buzz. All of those things, like, people are overusing those words. So trust is very low. People take those terms very or don't take the terms seriously at all. So you really want to dial in your messaging over here, and you really want to make sure that you're actually speaking to the person on the other side. You want them to feel like, oh, this is the thing for me. Touch on their pain points. What are they struggling with, and how does your product solve that pain? But by focusing on the pain or the desired outcome, and what they want. So what do I want out of this coffee? Maybe I want the status because people see I'm buying the Plato sachets, and so that makes me feel a certain way. Well, that's something you could touch on. Same reason with, when you take out an iPhone. Obviously I have an iPhone, I enjoy them. It gives you some sense of status because Apple has built that up. So that's also something that you can touch on. The desired outcomes, etc. Instead of just saying 1 sachet of 14 grams coffee, easy to make. It's like, if you're going to focus on easy to make, you could use different words, like find yourself in a rush in the morning, but desperately in need of a coffee, something along those terms, so that people can actually picture that moment when they would be using it. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. Or you got to work, you forgot your grind at home, etc. I'm just focusing on this because I'm currently drinking it and it's in front of me. You can apply those same examples to your own goods. So that was the traffic sources, and but on messaging. Now for Takealot, they pay for eyeballs, right? So it's the opposite. They pay for eyeballs, but you can't contact them. So pros and cons, definitely. Takealot's paying for them, unless you're obviously running paid ads, in which you're technically contributing towards more eyeballs. But in general, you'll make sales if you have a good product and it's findable, right? You've got good search terms in your title, then you will make sales on Takealot. Because there's that many people that go on. But you can't contact those people again. You can't upsell them. You can't offer them something else in the future. You can't see, oh, they should be out. They've bought 12 of these. It's been a month. They probably need a new box. You can't contact them. You don't own their data. So there's no remarketing, technically, and no nurturing, no follow-ups. But you still have paid ads and promotions, which you can do. This is going to be different. Takealot's going to be search first, right? So like search-based focus first, where your Shopify was going to be messaging first. So messaging, because they're coming to your site, you need to build trust real quick, build rapport, touch on their pain, show them why this thing for them, let them imagine themselves busy having this product. Where Takealot is like a big search engine, right? People are going on and they're searching coffee sachets or iPhone covers. Please don't sell iPhone covers. Side note. But they're essentially searching for the item. So you definitely want to make sure that your titles are not clever. They should be very clear. What is the item you sell? What are the features of it and things that people would be searching for? I made a huge mistake with this that lost us at least 5,000-6,000 Rand in stock, where we had about 150 units just left over. I bought something that looked great. It functioned very well, also in the coffee niche, and it solved a big problem. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is amazing. But I had never seen that product before. And everyone I showed the product in the industry had never seen the product before either. It was basically like a really cool paper filter stand holder. And I thought, oh, this is amazing. This is like a winning product because no one else is selling it. That was a little bit of a problem on Takealot. Because no one was selling it, no one was searching for it. No one was going in like, oh, I need a filter stand. They didn't know that you get really nice filter stands. So none of them sold. Like, it was a really difficult sell, and if people did see it, they couldn't really imagine what it was for right away. So that made it hard for people to find. We tried to name it something clever, that didn't work. So the only way we started actually moving the stock was just selling it with paper filters that we had to order, and then sort of reduce the price of that to cost, and then just to be able to move the stock for people who were looking for filters, and now we were giving them a free stand with it. That was a horrible learning experience. So, but it taught me something. Takealot is search term based first. So make sure that your products can be found. Right, we've covered the biggest stones of marketing. Now going on to admin and order fulfillment over here. Number 3, Shopify process is pretty simple. We ran over it right in the beginning, but there's less overall admin, like for the store itself, right? I mean, like you increase your stock, you decrease if you sold privately. It's not too much else. You add another page here and there, add your products. With Takealot, more overall admin, right? So you're managing your stock, you're looking at your different stock levels across 3 different distribution centers. You don't want one to be too much higher than the other. You want to see if they're being transferred in between the DCs. You've got probably a lot more SKUs and units and products that you're selling. So there's definitely more admin attached. There are some great softwares like Gadget that makes it really easy to see everything like on a nice dashboard, because currently Takealot's dashboards and interface not the best for sellers, but you get used to it quickly. All right, then for Shopify, point number 2 over here, it's your own stock level control, right? So you can put in stock what you want. If you only want to stock one and you sell out, it's up to you. If you want 100 on your site, it's up to you. With Takealot decides you're allowed stock. So a lot of people, when I help them sort of get onto Takealot, and these are bigger companies, so they're selling to Spa already, and they're distributing on other e-commerce sites, their own e-commerce site, and then to wholesalers, but they're trying to get onto Takealot with their products as well. They want to send hundreds of boxes, and I'm like, well, no, unless you have a special agreement with Takealot in the beginning, if you just sign up the way everyone signs up, you're just going to be allowed to send like 5 units in the beginning, sometimes 10, and then once or twice I've seen them sort of unlock it right off the bat. But in general, you're only able to send about 10 units per product, so per line item, per SKU, to each DC in the beginning. Then if it sells really well, they slowly start increasing your allowed stock. So now they say, okay, well, now you're allowed to send 15 units to Cape Town, but Joburg didn't really sell well, so you can only send 5 units. That becomes quite tricky because you need to keep selling at a pretty smooth rate in order to keep that number going up. What happens is if you sell out, which is not a bad thing, I mean, it's not great, but it's not bad if you sold out, you moved all your stock, and now you take 2 weeks or 3 weeks to replenish that stock. In Takealot's mind, which is very frustrating, they just look at your last 30 days of sales. So how many units did you sell in the last 30 days? How many units do you have in stock? And then based on that difference, how many days worth of stock do you still have? So if you've sold out, it means you're obviously not selling any units. And now you take 2.5 weeks to replenish stock. Maybe the stock gets there 30 days later, as an example. In total, Takealot goes, oh, well, over the last 30 days, you haven't sold anything of this product. So this is a slow moving item. You're like, no, I just sold 100 of them the month before and I sold out, and now I've replenished plenty and I've planned ahead and now I know. And then it's a lot of back and forth and you're opening tickets. I'm just telling you this to be honest with you so that you're aware that this happens, especially if you are a bigger company. It's really useful to know. But in the beginning, they're obviously deciding your stock, and it's very much based on your sales. For Shopify, the shipments and couriers booking per order, as we've gone over, so I'm not going to touch that too much more, but just remember that. Where for Takealot, the bulk shipments every 1 to 3 weeks, sometimes more, but usually every 1 to 3 weeks if you're doing a good job. What I did, I used Gadget, the software, and I would just essentially, after when we got to around about 80% over all of our products, over all of the DCs, I just auto replenish them and then package that and send it just to keep it full, because I wanted to keep my volumes that I'm allowed to send going higher and higher. That's just a little hack. Even if you're doing it manually, just keep fulfilling and keeping your stock levels pretty full. All right. Then one more thing I forgot to go over here. You can claim back missing stock. So with your own stock, hopefully you're not losing your own stuff, right? If you've got some staff or you got a 3PL, then again, there is some risk in there. But with Takealot, stock does go missing. Like our accountant was very upset with us because who was one of my business partners, very upset because stuff would go missing, and I'm like, I didn't lose it. It's not here. It's not in Takealot stock. It didn't sell, and we just didn't know where it went. And I found out later that sometimes stock goes missing, but you can claim it back. You just pull a report. I've got a video of it on the channel, and then you submit that, and Takealot does pay that money back. And some sellers, again, that I've chatted to, have gotten back like close to 50,000 Rand over the last few months, you know, where they've had to claim it back once they realized. So once a month, just do that. Go watch the video if you are selling on Takealot. All right. Then we covered bulk shipments. For shipments with Shopify, there's more packaging, both in volume and like quality. Right, there's more. So if I was selling one of these, I would, as an individual, I would need to find, like, this is technically packaged, but I don't just want you to open it and you see this. So I'd probably put this in like a nice little matte black sleeve or something with a sticker on. I might have a card inside there with a discount or a thank you note or handwritten thank you later. We did that a lot, which people loved and made them, well, naturally they left reviews because of it. So I'd want to make it like a really cool experience for you. And then I need an actual something that I can use for the shipping courier guys, that I can put all the ugly stickers on in the label and ship that off to you. So when you open the ugly thing from the courier, you've now got like a really cool experience inside. So there's more quality and detail that goes in. You know that they've ordered from your online store, your Shopify store, WooCommerce. So you sort of want that to be a really cool experience. Where with Takealot, they're going to put this tiny thing in a big box in any case with some brown paper. You're not really in control of that. And you don't want to add too much packaging around this as a unique experience. There's a balance, obviously, where it might be too much, because that adds space, and that space you're going to need to pay for to ship to Takealot directly, and it now increases the size of your product, which means your fulfillment fee could be more expensive with Takealot. So that's something to keep in mind, right? There's a bit more packaging in terms of the boxes that I use, the stickers, the thank you notes, and all sorts. So just something to keep in mind. Then for Takealot, it's a bit easier, right? But there's more paperwork and printing for sure. So with Takealot, you've seen on a lot of my packaging videos, there's, you know, per box, you're going to be putting in a shipping label on the outside, plus a Weibo sticker, which you would need in any case. Every single product needs a product label on, which is a little ID essentially. So Takealot can scan and give the right product. And within each shipment, you've got 2 A4 pages that need to be signed and the correct amount of numbers to be written on there and put in. You get used to it, you get in the flow. So that's why I say it's quite nice. Once every week to 3 weeks, you're doing a bulk replenishment. You just mission it out, or you start paying people to do that for you. But it is just something to keep in mind. Easier packaging, but more paperwork. Then with Shopify, feels less passive, as I covered over here. But if integrated and you've got good fulfillment, then fulfillment can be really fast. So I integrated pretty soon with the courier guy. That allowed me to see a sale, click on it, create shipment. The Weibo was created automatically. Essentially, it creates a shipment in the background with the courier guy through the account that you set up with them. And then you say print sticker, and then you print your sticker. Really smooth. And that made it go through really fast. In fact, it felt like a little small blessing every time we made a Shopify sale. Just because of how easy it was. It was like cool. Even, you know, it was quite easy to get someone to help with that part, because it's just 2 little buttons. Go fetch your item, put it in a box, put the stick on, ship it out. So yeah, it just feels less passive. So because you're packaging sort of per order, and until you get quite a good customer flow and you've got, you know, a couple hundred customers each month busy purchasing from you, then you can sort of batch. Cool. At the end of the day, you're shipping out 5 or 10 shipments at a time. But in the beginning, you're probably just shipping out 1 at a time, which is fine. Just feels a little bit less passive, and that's okay. It is work. Then with Takealot, easier packing, more paperwork, feels very passive between DC replenishments. So I went in quite detail on that earlier, so I'm not going to cover that more, but it definitely feels more passive. When you got your stock there and you're just carrying on with your day, it really feels pretty good. Now, I do have a bonus for you, a bonus strategy. Sorry, throat's getting quite dry. So the bonus over here with Shopify and Takealot, just 2 more differences and things to cover. Again, Shopify, you really want to build a brand voice. Like you're gonna need to become really good at this. You need to learn good copy and good sales copy, and not sales in terms of the cheesy, like convincing someone to buy your stuff, but learning the correct language to really connect with people's desires, with their desired outcomes, with their desired status, with their pains. That's a huge thing. Like I can't stress that enough. It feels cooler, right? Like it just feels cooler. It means, I put it over here, right? It means nothing, but it is true. When you have your Shopify site and you're like, okay, cool, I have an e-commerce business, and you can show people the site, and you you're in control of what that looks like. Like you hover over a picture and it changes from a plain white background to a lifestyle picture of someone actually drinking the coffee, or a model busy drinking the coffee. It's like that feels a lot cooler, and you're in charge of your copy and the flow of your website and where you have your deals, and the different pages that you have and everything, and your upsells, downsells, and the processes and how you fulfill. Like it feels pretty cool. I used to love, I'm sure you can see a bit of the shelf in the background, but I love having a few shelves in the garage stocked with different products in like clear bins. It just felt aesthetic. It felt nice seeing all the products and packaging it for people. Means nothing, but it's something. It's something to note, right? And then for Shopify, you're forced to learn lead gen. Like you need to just accept this from day one. You need to understand how to generate leads, and leads is just potential customers, which is essentially a name and an email address, or a name and a cell phone number, mobile number. Without the actual contact details, doesn't really mean much. But you want to start being able to build up leads and understanding marketing. Like you're not going to get away without that unless you're very lucky and you've got a absolutely fantastic, rare unicorn of a product, right? So you're definitely gonna be forced to learn lead gen, which is just part of it, and it's a good skill. You can apply it to many things. With Takealot, there's more trust from day one. Like this is huge. There's no risk for the customer. Their return policy is insane. If you're a Takealot seller, you know how frustrating it is, because I can buy something like this cup and then drink from it, and then for 6 months I can enjoy this cup and be like, oh, no, I'm returning it now. Why? Doesn't fit my aesthetic anymore. Because you have to have a minimum of a 6-month warranty on it, on all of your products. You can obviously go more. So the reason they do that, as much as we complain as sellers, it is pretty cool because it builds trust. It's like a great warranty. Like, cool, buy it risk-free. If you don't like it, ship it back. No questions asked. Well, technically a little survey asked, but you get the point. But what that does, and the biggest benefit of this, is that it builds massive trust, right? Besides Takealot and Amazon being huge, fulfilling, having a lot of past experience, working with a lot of huge companies, people know that they can return items. It's frustrating for sellers, but it builds trust. It means that from day one, like, people can trust your product and your brand to purchase it. They might still be asking themselves, oh, well, what brand is this? Like the one that you're actually selling? Can I trust this particular product? But in general, they know that, if they don't like it, I can just return it. You're forced to learn a lot of patience. A lot is out of your control. So as I mentioned, stock can go missing. Now, I don't want to say all these things as negative things. I just want to be real with you so you understand. But you're definitely forced to learn patience, and to deal with things, create tickets when tickets are needing to be created with the staff, learn more, figure out, and just be patient with the process, because a lot of it is just out of your control. But you do have more time flexibility, right? So that's this one over here. More time flexibility, because again, if you just know that once every 2 weeks or so you need to be there to grind or have people there. So what we would do is we'd have all of our stock come from, well, some stock from China, some from the US. We'd have that come down in its own packaging, and a lot of that we would have to repackage and put into branded boxes and all sorts. For the white label stuff, for the US company, it was another brand that we were just distributing and selling. But in general, we knew that once every 2 weeks, we're going to organize people. They'd come, they'd repackage for us, put all the Takealot stickers on like 80% of the stock. So we had 20% for Shopify to move, where we don't want Takealot stickers on. And we would just like put all the stickers on in bulk ahead of time, so that when I had to package, or when I had to get someone to do the bulk replenishments, they could just take off the shelf. It already had the Takealot product label on, pack in the box and go. And that was a lot quicker. If a lead time order came in, you sort of get in the flow, you deal with it a little bit quicker. Pre-print your stickers, your labels. You obviously can't pre-print shipping labels or labels, but all of the other, a lot of the other, especially product labels, you can do. And then, for 2 weeks or so, you've got flexibility. Like if you're going away on holiday, you don't need to really worry. Where with Shopify, it was always stressful, because you go away for a weekend, you're like, man, you want to get these orders out, but you're not there to fulfill the orders. So that's a really nice thing. Definitely more flexibility. If you have a job, or something like that, and you're trying to grow, Takealot's a great option for these 2 points. Lots of trust, lots of flexibility, a lot more fees. So a lot of pros and cons to each of these. Now, I didn't want to leave you there because I don't think that really answers the question which one is best. Or maybe by now you have the answer. What I want to cover over here is the best combo strategy. And this is something that I sort of sat with and I was asking myself, okay, on Shopify, the biggest thing is I can recontact you. On Takealot, I'm more likely for you to buy because of the trust. How do I get you from Takealot onto my Shopify if I'm not allowed to contact you, right? And people are not just going to guess that they can go to your site. So we started using this to sort of develop a really good strategy, which I've helped a lot of other people with as well, which is treated, for me, the best thing is if you plan on selling on both, which in most cases is a phenomenal idea, great idea. If this is your actual business, then a great way to do this is to think of it in general that your first sale is going to be on Takealot with a customer, a new customer, that they'll find and purchase from you, find you and purchase from you on Takealot. And from there, you're going to try and weave some of them, not all of them, it's inevitable, onto your website, into your ecosystem, right? So several ways that you can do this. But let's go through the list. While you're reading this first sentence over here, I'll take another sip of coffee. All right. So we know Takealot is better for initial sales, but Shopify is better for long-term growth and profits. So let's use that to our advantage, right? Yeah, for me, this is the best way to use both. If you just sell on both, I see a lot of people sell on both very randomly and like just as they go, which is fine, but I try and be very intentional with this step. So set up both. The system will work best if we're set up on both platforms simultaneously, right? You don't want to set up on Takealot, sell a whole bunch of items to first-time customers, and then you can't point them to a Shopify. And then you don't want to have your Shopify set up for months ahead, and now you're paying that 470 Rand, but you're not even set up yet on Takealot. So I would go about setting them up at the same time. Shopify, you can work on in the evenings, build your site out, make it look nice. Think about how you're going to generate those leads. And then on Takealot, you can obviously, there's a bit of paperwork. You got to apply, you got to get approved, etc. If you really plan on doing both at the same time, I would just do both at the same time. But you could technically apply on Takealot, which is usually what I recommend. Apply on Takealot, see if you can even get accepted, right? Because they're rejecting a lot of people. And then if you get accepted, then you can get started with your Shopify because it is a bit quicker, except for building it out. So again, pros and cons. So you set up both. Then you plan to package differently. And this was a big winner as well, right? So we need to be very strategic here. You set up codes, it's easy, don't worry about it. You can set up codes on Shopify. I believe that they've got some like default discount codes that you can set up 10%, 20%, 500 Rand off one purchase, second purchase, all purchases, free shipping, no free shipping. Lots of different options that you have. And then you got to worry about like, cool, how is this going to be seen? So what I did and what I find works for a lot of people, it depends if you've got like consumables, so coffee, tea, matcha, stationery, I guess, like paper that I'm just looking around me right now, but anything that's consumable that people use and it empties and they need to buy again, that's a little bit easier because you can make an absolutely bomb of an offer, like a really good offer, and you can print it on a very nice, piece of card or a little pamphlet or handwritten letter or something like that, and you put it in your box that's going to Takealot, right, per product. So you package your Takealot stock, and you've got something in there that's giving them a really big reason to go to your website. And that's key because the reason has to be big. Like in the beginning, we just said, thank you so much. Please check out our website and get 20% off using this code. Thinking like, oh, this is going to make us so many sales. And we made almost no sales. I think maybe like one or two through that. Because everyone, this is, as you can see over here, we need a banger offer, right? Like a really good offer. 20% off, please no. And this is the first time and one of very few times I put an emoji here because don't you just see 20% off all the time, right? Like, oh, use this for 20% off or 15% off, 25% off. So you want this to be huge. And if the offer's not big, this whole sort of strategy breaks apart because, yeah, if someone doesn't have a reason to take time to open up their phone and click it, it's quite a big ask. So remember, we're asking for a lot here. We're not just, oh, we're offering 20%, they should be thankful. No, we're asking them for a lot. Like you as a consumer, essentially I'm asking you, right, I'm giving you a reason to open up a new tab on your phone or open up your laptop when you have time. Find the website, make sure it's the correct website, which you're unsure about, browse around, which page do you go on to, where's the product that I spoke about, where do you even enter this code, close the pop-up. You got to place an order. You don't have any saved cards where with Takealot, you just say, yep, this card, boof. Oh, they even know which pickup point you usually use. You don't have any of that. You don't have shipping details for it, and you got to fill it in for the first time. You got to understand the process, etc. So we're asking for a lot. And if we understand that, we know, okay, cool, this offer needs to be amazing. Like it needs to be a really big offer. Like, cool, I bought one of these. Hey, I've got a 12 pack for you for free, or a 5 pack or whatever for free. And in that case, if these are very cheap, I just say, cool, you cover shipping. And try to give them a really good rate on shipping, but I say the products are free. And the reason this works, right, which we'll go over, or let me first cover, you do need to break your own beliefs, right? And this for me took the longest time. Where you look at your margins, you go, oh, but I can't afford to give that because I'm not making money on it. So 20%, then, and I got a 40% margin. So if I give 20% off, I'm still making 20%. I'm still profitable. The thing is, if they don't actually take you up on that 20% offer and they don't actually go to your website, well, then you weren't extra profitable at all because you still only have the first sale from Takealot. Either you're going to give something away, give them a really good deal and discount or reason to come to your site, or maybe a really, really solid lead magnet if it's a different category. Or you're going to be paying for them in any case to come to your site, like for paid traffic, like you're going to run expensive Facebook ads. Again, depending on your category, you may be spending quite a bit more than others and figuring that out. So either way, you're going to be paying to acquire customers. Like you can't get around from that. You need to pay for your customers until organic and natural word of mouth really starts picking up. And again, you can incentivize that, like tell a friend, bring a friend, get a month's supply for free. So you need a really good offer. So really think about that. And then, yeah, then we need to plan to keep them, right? So we package differently. So we have special cards inside the Takealot boxes that's going out. That's going to grab their attention. So we sold, I don't have it on me, but we were also selling a metal wallet. And obviously when like really cool, minimalistic metal, like industrial looking, cool, manly wallets. And when you open it up, obviously you want to put your cards in. So we had a card inside there that was obviously decorated and used to get your attention with an offer on. Now, looking back, our offer was pretty weak, but you know, I think it was actually just a thank you card at that time. I think maybe visit the site, something like that. But now, like, that was a great place to put it because I know for sure they're going to need to open and put their cards and go, oh, what's this? Look at it. Oh, wow, bright colors or something, nice design, get their attention with a great offer that's easy to read. Now, there's no point you have a little card at the bottom of your box because people take it out. Oh, is there anything else inside here that's important? No, chuck away the box. So you want to make sure that they're sort of forced to see it. Maybe put it inside the packaging, like where they're going to open it if possible. Again, I'm not going to detail that. I'm sure you'll use your logic. All right, so we've got different packaging. We've got a banger offer. Now we need to plan to keep them. So this is all a waste if we can't retain them as a customer. We can't get them to purchase again. So the whole point of owning the email number and their contact details, their name, is to allow us to nurture, to market, and to make bang and personalized offers. Again, in the beginning, it's not sustainable, but I'd want to make really unique offers per customer in the beginning if I don't have a bunch of traffic. There are different methods that you'll need to learn, right? And one at a time, I suggest. Don't try learn everything at once, and because then what happens is we often get stuck in this place where maybe you are now since you're watching this video, where we just try and consume so much and we watch every little YouTube video on it and we watch every little piece, all the different people who are teaching these things. And then we have so much information, but we're not actually putting them into practice. So there's a few different methods that you need to learn. Just focus on one at a time, learn something, implement it, see what it does, tweak it, etc. And then go through. So it's email marketing in sequences. A sequences is essentially you have like pre-built email sequence. So you've got day 1, you've got a day 3. Hey, in case you missed the first one, here's a little bit something. I would say that for sequences, you want to make it like value packed. Like you obviously need that subject line to add value. You don't want to be caught in spam traps and have them block you and mark you as spam. So you don't just want to say, hey, following up day 5. No one's going to open that. I'm sure all of our inboxes is full of that. So These sequences you can sort of design with the help of AI, and then please put it in your own voice. But you can design these sequences, make it high value, and that's one thing that you need to learn, and just email marketing in general. Then direct outreach, again, since you've got their contact details once they've bought from your site for the first time, you can just directly reach out, phone them. Hey, how are you enjoying the product? I know that you bought this yesterday, or you bought it a week ago, last month. How are you finding it? Do you need any help with it? That's great for very fast like feedback loops, to get information back from your customers, potentially get reviews from them, etc. Offer creation, you're gonna need to work on tweaking this offer over here. So obviously seeing, oh, okay, well, I put this card in 100 units. I've sold all of these 100 units out on Takealot, and still no one has come to the site. Let me try to tweak the offer. 100's probably too few, but you get the point. So you need to learn how to create these offers. And then incentivizing UGC, so user generated content, getting people and incentivizing them. Hey, if you make a video brewing this coffee, opening it, and on TikTok or Instagram, like, we'll give you X, or you get Y off of Z. So different options there, but trying to incentivize it to give them a real good reason to actually generate content for you, which does two things really well. Free, obviously you've paid, and whatever discount you've given them. But what's also really nice is it's not your face, and it's not your staff members' faces. And then you have just average people using your product who genuinely enjoy it and bought it because they wanted it or needed it, and now they're making content and sort of giving reviews. Really good way to build trust. All right. And then this is the payoff, right? So the payoff is getting to actually keep them. And now you can understand why the process makes a lot more sense, right? We want to make it in a way that we get them on Takealot, or we'll naturally sell to them on Takealot. We're going to try and get them into our ecosystem, especially if we have consumables. If you don't know consumables, you sort of want to think, cool, they might not want this mouse twice, so they're not going to buy a second mouse a second time. So we're going to need to try and give them an offer that makes sense to them. Maybe get this free keyboard and mouse pad and whatever together, or a nice combo deal. So if you don't have consumables, you'll just need to think about that. With the coffee tools, what we did is, if we sold them like a WDT, we'd try sell them a dosing ring and other tools and a calibrated tamper that they would need as well. And they themselves would know, okay, cool, this solves one problem, but here's two more tools that solves the rest of the distribution problem, right? Coffee terminology. Right, now, after all of that, it's time to repeat, but better, right? Don't just repeat the same thing the whole time, expect different results. I'm sure you know that saying, but we want to repeat and get a little bit better, that 1% rule. Just each time tweak a small thing, just get 1% better each day, each time, each week. And that makes a huge difference, right? And if you try to do too much at once, you're just gonna lose yourself in the moment. Eminem. Right. So choose one of the main parts of the process below. Either your initial sales, so start learning how to tweak your initial sales. Maybe it's better lifestyle photos on your images. That makes a huge difference. So many people help out just have like white background or very generic images. Get lifestyle pictures of people using the thing in the setting you think they'd want to imagine themselves using it. Offer packaging. So this is your offer packaging. So how am I actually going to package those cards that say get 100% off of the next 5 months of coffee? You can start tweaking that packaging. Maybe use a slightly better card stock next time. Whatever it is, different QR codes, just different incentivize or incentivize them differently. So that's something that you can tweak a little bit each time. Shopify store conversion, you can start working on this as well. Again, small changes above the fold is going to make the biggest difference. So your headline and your sub headline or subheading, and tweaking those if you can, maybe A/B test them as well. Then your delivery, you can start tweaking over here as well and trying to get a little bit better with your process. It probably took me about 2-3 months to have a really smooth flow with Takealot specifically. Shopify, pretty easy, but even just stuff like having your products and then your box and your tape and your this, like kind of set up at a table where you can package. And then I had a little buckety type thing where I would go and I'd put in each item for each order and carry it around, and that saved a whole bunch of time. And then it was pre-printing all of my paperwork for all of my Takealot shipments at once, then going to package the goods. Where in the beginning I'd sort of do Cape Towns, so I'd package, print, sticker, load in the box, close up, put all Takealot things, and then set or put it by the door for sending, and then do Joburg. So work on the process as well. The smoother it feels, the easier it's going to feel for you, which is great, and the easier to train other people. You can focus on your nurturing and marketing to existing clients, give them calls, work on your email templates, on your sequences, reach out to friends, just tweaking your actual nurturing and marketing. And then paid ads and content. Hopefully by now you've got some great UGC which you can use for ads. And just in general, hopefully you've been creating some content at this time. You're working on your content, and as you see ones that are standing out, that are outliers, you can start figuring out and learning ads a little bit. Again, just pick one of these things each time, whether that's once a week, once a month. If you're doing this really full time, then every day just try to tweak one thing just a little bit, but not everything at once, because also what happens, you don't even know what fixed it or what broke it. Like maybe you were making 10 sales, you tweaked 10 different things, now you're not making any sales. Well, where did you break it? You don't know. So just try to tweak one thing at a time and wait for it. Now, please remember, volume matters a lot more than conversion, right? Like putting out more content and just learning as you go and putting that content out, you're going to start finding your outliers. And then if you pay attention to those details, you're going to get information a lot better back than trying to optimize absolutely everything. Like trying to see, okay, well, it's going to take me a whole month to make one reel because I'm trying to optimize my intro perfectly and do all of these things. And my packaging, my site, my one page is taking me months to do because I'm trying to optimize every single sentence. Like if you just have something half decent and enough traffic in terms of quantity there, even if your percentage is lower, you're still going to be making a decent amount of sales. And then when you start getting the hang of that and you tweak a little bit each time, then you start upping your conversion rates, right? Like doing things better quality and tweaking things. But a lot of times, including myself, you get so caught up in trying to make everything convert better and do better, where instead we should just be focusing a little bit more on volume sometimes. Instead of all the fancy things. Now, please write this down. I guarantee at some point this will trap you. And I mean, I already touched on it, but it just becomes a trap, right? Like you get caught in this thing of chasing better and better and better, and then you start consuming more and more information on, no, this is the best sentence for your website. No, this is the best subject line. And if you just pushed a little more volume and you just did a little bit more, sometimes you usually see a lot better results overall. And then you start tweaking your conversion. So please don't fall in the trap like I did and like many others do. So write that down somewhere. Just focus on your volume. Just get your actual reps in. And you'll definitely see the payoff. So this was a long video. There's a lot of things that I've covered here. If you do need access to these, let me know down below if that would be cool. Maybe I'll just link this document at the bottom, but I'll definitely make it available in the community as well. So if you join the community, just pop me a DM and then just request this. I'll send this to you with all of the links. Thank you so much for joining in on this video. And when your sites are up and ready and live, please share them down in the description so we can join and support. See you in the next video.